It is a terrifying realization when you discover that the people who gave you life are the exact same people trying to destroy it. I woke up at 5 in the morning to a freezing digital alert on my phone, informing me that my primary financial account was locked due to unauthorized security changes. My rescue terrier was sleeping heavily against my ankles, completely oblivious to the fact that my entire world had just been pulled right out from under me. That specific account held over $500,000, a protective legacy left to me by my maternal grandfather when I was barely out of my teens. He watched my parents drain my small university paychecks without a shred of guilt, so he secretly established this shield with his private attorney to ensure they could never touch a single penny. He warned me in his quiet kitchen that they would eventually come for it, and his voice echoed in my head as I stared at the blinking red denial screen. In over a decade, I only accessed those funds twice, once to wipe out my nursing school debt and once for the down payment on my small colonial home. My immediate instinct was to dial my mother, which remains the single biggest regret of my entire life because I mistakenly believed a mother would protect her child. She answered instantly without a hint of morning grogginess, her voice chillingly hollow as she uttered my name, Cynthia, without a single ounce of warmth or maternal concern. She calmly explained that she and my father had consulted a financial advisor because they were deeply concerned about my recent relationship ending and my stressful shifts as a trauma nurse manager. She spoke with that ancient, manipulative familiarity that always made me feel like an unstable child, using family unity as a weapon to disguise what was actually a hostile takeover. I could hear my father in the background demanding to be put on speakerphone so he could control the narrative. My father used the exact same detached, clinical tone he refined during 30 years as a corporate insurance claims adjuster to inform me that they had filed a legal power of attorney. He claimed a licensed medical professional had certified that I was experiencing a severe mental crisis and was entirely unfit to govern my own affairs. I had not seen either of them in nearly a year, yet they were standing in a united front to gaslight me into financial dependency. I severed the call without saying a word, allowed my hands to shake violently for a few moments, and then dialed the local bank branch supervisor to demand an immediate appointment. I grabbed my sharpest professional attire, pinned on the small pearl earrings my grandfather gifted me, and drove toward the downtown office while my mind pieced together the missing variables. My sister had recently begged me to secure a loan for her extravagant lifestyle, and my refusal had clearly set this machinery into motion. The branch manager looked incredibly grim as he turned his computer monitor around to display the forged legal documents and a fraudulent psychiatric letter from a clinic located hours away. He explained that the bank had already flagged the suspicious paperwork after the listed medical phone number led straight to a generic, unnamed voicemail box. The most damning evidence was the embedded digital signature on the submitted electronic files, which directly traced back to my brother-in-law home computer. The lingering noise of my family expectations instantly vanished, replaced by a profound and absolute silence that allowed me to see the entire situation with crystalline clarity. The supervisor gently asked if I wanted to initiate formal criminal proceedings, reminding me that fabricating medical documents and forging signatures on federal banking instruments carried severe felony penalties. I looked him dead in the eyes and told him to contact the police immediately because my grandfather had anticipated this exact day. A responding female officer arrived shortly after to document the digital trail, review the fraudulent paperwork, and secure my formal written statements regarding the identity theft. She wisely asked if my parents were likely to show up at the branch, and I warned her that my mother would undoubtedly arrive in full theatrical character to proclaim my mental instability. The officer nodded slowly, adjusted her uniform, and quietly stepped into the rear offices to wait for the inevitable performance to begin. Right on cue, my mother swept into the lobby looking immaculate, projecting the heavy grief of a heartbroken parent dealing with a broken, unstable daughter. She spun her practiced web of lies to the front teller, completely unaware that the trap had already sprung around her. When the officer stepped out and requested their identification, my parents maintained their righteous facade, walking right past my glass office without even granting me a passing glance. The subsequent interrogation completely dismantled their elaborate fiction within minutes as their conflicting stories about dates, doctors, and document preparation totally fell apart under pressure. The officer noted a poorly timed phone call from my panicked brother-in-law, which solidified the conspiracy and led to the immediate arrest of both my parents right there in the lobby. I listened to the sharp metallic click of handcuffs echoing through the glass while I focused entirely on signing my new security forms. By the end of the afternoon, the local police had had apprehended my sister and her husband at their residence, leveling multiple counts of grand larceny, forgery, and identity fraud against the entire group. The subsequent trial lasted nearly a year, exposing a history of similar document forgeries committed by my brother-in-law that ultimately sealed their fates. The presiding judge showed absolutely no mercy, handing down multi-year prison sentences to every single person involved in the plot. I attended the final sentencing in a traditional tailored dress, maintaining unbroken eye contact with my mother as they led her away to serve her 6-year term. My niece and nephew are now safe with their paternal grandparents, who regularly send me letters affirming they are raising the children with actual integrity. My grandfather's protective legacy remains completely untouched, locked behind multiple layers of security, guarded by a chosen family that actually shows up when things fall apart.